The FIS Ski Cross World Cup got underway this week in the famous French resort of Val Thorens. Perfect bluebird conditions greeted the athletes for training on the Stade de Ski Cross Jean-Frédéric Chapuis, the track named after the now retired legendary French racer and Olympic champion. The women's final saw three of the biggest names in the sport battle it out for the win. Marielle Thomsen from Canada got the best of the starts and took the fight to the Swedish ski cross superstar Sandra Naeslund. By the midpoint of the course though, Naeslund had the lead with Thomsen in second, leaving Fanny Smith to go head-to-head with her Swiss teammate Talina Gantenbein for third. In the end, Naeslund was too strong and came through to take her 29th World Cup win, tying Smith for the most in the history of the sport. Second belonged to Thomsen, with the surprise package of the day, Talina Gantenbein holding off Smith to record her third career podium. The men's race was a much more open affair. Rohrbeck and Lenher had been in fine form all race long and went up against Dominik Zusch from Italy, racing in his first ever final, and Tobias Müller from Germany. It was the Austrian who managed to stamp his authority on the race, however, and he came through to record his second career win. Tobias Müller from Germany grabbed his second career podium, and Lenher third for Switzerland. Day 2 of competition and conditions had changed drastically. Heavy snowfall delayed the competition, but with a lot of effort from organisers and a bit of help from the weather, the race got underway 3 hours later than planned. In the women's final, Naeslund got the strongest of the starts, helped by a mistake on the first feature from Daniela Meyer from Germany. Once Naeslund was out in front, there was no catching her. The Swede, in dominant form, pulled away from the rest of the field, leaving Meyer to battle with the Canadian teammates of Hannah Schmidt and India Sherritt for the remaining spots on the podium. Meyer and Schmidt were shoulder to shoulder for much of the race, jostling for position, but by the time they reached the famous Val Thorens negative turn, it was the Canadian who made second place her own and held it to the finish, with the German Meyer taking home third. A history-making win for Sandra Naeslund, now out on 30 World Cup wins. She now has the most of anyone in the history of ski cross. After 2 of 14 competitions, Naeslund already has a 75-point lead over her nearest challenger, Schmidt of Canada, in the race to defend her Crystal Globe, with 2014 Olympic champion Marielle Thomsen a further 16 points behind. Matthias Graf was making his World Cup debut at the doubleheader. 8th yesterday was a superb start to his World Cup career, but in race 2 he found himself in the big final in just his second World Cup start. The Austrian was in fine form all race long as he was relishing the tough conditions. Duplessis-Kergemard was the big hope for the host nation, and they were racing against the German Florian Wilmsmann and Swiss 2018 Olympic silver medalist Marc Bischofberger. But Graf was on another level in the big final, untouchable as he led from the front to take home his first career win in just his second start, to cap off a dream start for the Austrian men's team after Rohrbeck's spin in race 1. France were on the podium in second with Duplessis-Kergemard, and Bischofberger picked up third. Matthias Graf now wears the yellow bib as the World Cup Tour leader, with a slender 16-point advantage over his teammate Johannes Rohrbeck. The Tour now heads to Arosa, Switzerland on the 12th of December for the classic sprint race under the floodlights.